everybody, and welcome. We're all the way live. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm the Creepy Kentuckian.
I'm Uncle Bill. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. You got a new backdrop there. Where you at, playa?
I'm at the new Dead Pit Studios in Hager Hill. It's in beautiful downtown Hager Hill, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. You can throw a stone at the Walmart. No, it's a little bit further than that, but
it looks much more haunted than your previous location. I guess it's the doll right behind you. I don't know. Something a little more eerie about it.
I don't know. It seems like it's fine to me. I don't see any problems.
This is going to be a fun show tonight, though, because Larry, we've never had him on the Dead Pit channel at all. So this is his debut. But this is a multi-stream, too. So we're debuting on his channel, WGON TV. And I think we've been on Alpha's channel before. I can't remember. My memory's gone.
Uncle Bill has. You've never been on my channel before.
Well, you've been on the MW
a couple times.
Yeah.
But I've never actually had you on. So
this is my debut on his channel, too. It's going to be a big night. But we're talking.
Debuting everywhere.
A lot of debuts.
Hold tight, everybody. Hold tight.
Like WrestleMania 2, boys.
Yeah, this is a multi-stream. Which somebody said, WWE has the PLEs. We have the PMSs, the premium multi-streams.
This is a PMS for sure.
Oh, shit.
We're less than a week away, though. Living Dead weekend coming up in Pittsburgh, Monroeville area. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Hype it up a bit, because this is going to be a fun show. And for all the people, moping around like, oh, they're tearing them all down or whatever else. Yeah.
Wait, for all the people moping around about that? Yeah.
Everybody's talking. That's what they're talking about. They're on Facebook. It's getting tired. You've got this coming weekend. You can go visit the mall and have your time with it and then shut your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Go anytime. Is that what we're going to do? Buddy, what in the fuck?
Go have a time and then shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Shit,
Give it up.
The petitions aren't going to work, guys. I'm sorry. Nope. Walmart wipes their ass with petitions every day. So.
There is the governor, though. The governor of Pennsylvania does want to hear from the public about whether or not to give them the money to tear it down. So there is that. And if you want to email Governor Shapiro, Josh Shapiro, there is that. That is out there. Which I don't know if that'll matter much, but
I'm going straight. Look, I'm going straight to Trump. I ain't even going to the governor. Yep.
Lord Trump is what they call him here in Eastern Kentucky. But we're trying
to simultaneously get everyone canceled at the same time.
We're not talking politics tonight. We've got in trouble before in the past. That ain't happening. But Living Dead weekend, man, we're hyping it up. And me and Uncle Bill are going for the first time together. We're going to hold hands the entire weekend in Monroeville at the mall. It's going to be good times.
Skip up and down the elevators and,
Mm-hmm.
Will there be a Dead Pit on the Road episode?
There has to
We'll probably do something, yeah, for sure. But yeah, we're going up separately, so we're not going together, but we'll cook something up. But I guess we can get started. Larry, you actually work with Living Dead Weekends. How long has that been going on? You during the tours and a lot of help with the guests and everything too, I think, right?
Yeah. We've done the Living Dead Weekend since 2015. And my responsibilities are varied. I do a lot of stuff. Number one, I do the tours. So any time we've ever had a tour of film locations for Night of the Living Dead and the Crazies up in Evans City, or Dawn of the Dead tours at the mall or the airport, which I've done one time before the airport, they're all by me. I'm the only person that's ever done the tours. And then I also help find guests, and then I act sort of like their agent, and I create photos for them and get them printed up and give them advice and then invite them to the show and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll even do stuff like I've been there, and I even will pick up people from the airport if needed. I do anything. I do promotion on Facebook, social media, all over the place. I do it all.
So it's going to be a busy time for you here in a few days.
Well, yeah. I mean, it always is leading up to it, but once it gets going, it's easy. I mean, the tours and stuff, that's my main responsibility, and that's a piece of cake to me. I've done them for 10 years. I don't really even have to think about it. I know the mall and these locations and George Romero stuff like the back of my hand. It's really that simple for me. I don't even have to think about it.
You're gonna be out of business soon because they're tearing down all your locations. You got
I know.
malls going, the airport's gone. I mean, there's outside.
You got to have like a
cemetery,
video crew to do like a mall tour for future generations, though, right?
Wait,
I know. A lot of people have brought that up.
I know what we can do, Larry. I know what the answer to this is. You strap yourself to the front of the mall door. Chain yourself to the front. They can't tear it down.
Do it.
Yeah.
You'll try.
You would probably do it if it would make a difference, right?
Well,
Walmart,
sure,
man, oh, they don't care. They don't care.
You just be a red splotch in their way. They're just all right.
Right. People talking about maybe putting like a plaque or something up in Walmart. Don't put plaques. They don't do that, man.
No.
So,
well, they're saying it's supposed to be like, from what I heard, it's 25% of it's going to be the Walmart. I think they're going to put a Sam's Club there. And I think the rest is what they call a mixed-use retail area. So it'll be different storefronts and stuff like that. So it's good. It's good. The whole area it's not just going to be a Walmart with like a giant parking lot. So,
well, they do the malls that are popular now is like the outlet stores, where they're kind of like, what are they, Tanger outlets or something like that's what they call them.
Yeah, like Burke outlet malls and stuff like that.
AKA my idea of hell. Yeah.
5 and Below. There you go. TJ Maxx, those types.
Breathing hell. Yeah.
TJ Maxx is the worst store.
Listen, don't get me started on that store. We'll be here for an hour just talking about how shitty TJ Maxx is.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You can get stuff fairly cheap at TJ Maxx, but
what is it?
Whether or not it fits is a complete shot in the dark.
What is the store? It's like a upper Big Lots or something. Like a upper rent Big Lots. I don't understand.
It's a bunch of shit that was rejected from the actual stores that they came from. So if you find like an American Eagle shirt at a TJ Maxx, it's a shirt that was like defective or whatever, and American Eagle either wouldn't sell it or couldn't sell it.
Snag in it or something, right? Look at it. There's something wrong with it.
It'll say large, but it's actually like a small or something like that, you know.
And I saw they had like, because I buy a lot of caps, right? And they had some new era fitted caps. I don't know who the fuck with little kids, evidently. It would fit little kids like 6 3/8 or something like that. It was the size. They didn't my size, but
anyway, I've always wanted to ask Larry something because like it fascinated me because I went on that tour, of course, the mall tour. And it fascinated me how you knew all the stuff that you knew, and it's amazing. If you haven't gone on it, anybody watching this, go on it for sure. What was the inspiration? Oh yeah. What was the inspiration for Romero? Like, I mean, when did you get into Romero? Like, how did you get into Romero? Like, when did it take over your life and you lose all of your friends and money? And,
when did you lose your sanity, Larry?
Yeah.
The Romero addict that you've become.
It all started with Dawn of the Dead, of course. I saw that when I was about 8 or 9 years old. Loved it. And then things go on, time goes on. You watch it a million times. You get the various releases of VHSs. But then the thing that really got me going, I mean, I loved it like I love a lot of movies, but it was horrifying. 2004 that you guys were at. I was there with my wife, meeting Romero himself, which was like a whole thing, waiting 3 hours to meet him online. And he was just the nicest guy ever. And then all the other cast members who were there from Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead, they were all such nice people. And that made my collecting and my appreciation of his films and his work go into overdrive. And that's when I started to really start collecting things back in 2004. So my collection has steadily amassed since that time. And it's all because of that show. But before that, it all started with Dawn of the Dead.
Interesting, yeah.
It's weird because that show is really what inspired us to do all of this too. Like, yeah.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. It seems like that show is like the spawn of so much for so many people because I've heard you guys' stories over the years about going to that. It was like because that was like you guys' first convention, right? Like that was the first.
Well, we
time you guys
found
went
out
to
too
anything
that
like
over the years, other people that we would later become really good friends with were at that show before we even knew who the hell
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I met so many people years later, and they were all at that show long before I ever knew them or met them or became friends with them.
Yeah, because like 2004, this was before there were a lot of conventions, so there wasn't anything in Kentucky at that point that I knew of. I think Cinema Wasteland had just started, like they hadn't been around very long. But yeah, like Fangoria, Weekend of Horrors, maybe Room Work had a show or something. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot back then. So that was a great show, though. A lot of fun, a great hotel.
They don't do that show anymore, do they? I haven't heard that name in forever.
Not Horrifying, no. Monster Mania took over that location where they had the show in Hunt Valley, but then that hotel was demolished about a year and a half ago. So
that's what I heard.
That hotel doesn't exist anymore.
Dude, I love that. It's set up perfect for a convention, too. Great.
Yep.
Convention halls and stuff.
I remember right around that time was the first time I even heard of the idea of what a convention is, like a horror convention. We used to go to this, so there's a mall in Tennessee, in Clarksville, Tennessee, that we always used to go to. And I remember it was right around that time, 2003, 2004 is when I was first starting everything. And I remember there was always that guy that had like the leather vest and the horror t-shirts and would always just wander around the mall every day, all day, just like he was just the mall rat. He was always there. And I remember being at like a Hot Topic or something like that and walking by him, and he was talking to one of the people that work there, and he was talking about, oh yeah, we're going to this show, we're going to meet Bruce Campbell's going to be there, George Romero's going to be there. And I remember hearing that as a kid and was like, you can meet the people? Like this was like not even in my brain at the time. So hearing you say that, it was just like, this is a thing? Like that was the first I'd ever even heard of that, the possibility of ever meeting any of these people. And then I didn't go to my first convention until it was like 2008, so it was a few years after that. But yeah, in 2004, I think that was like at the very, which they had them before that, but they're not what they are now. Like now they're it's a whole industry in and of itself at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as those big convention center shows and stuff, like they had one just a couple hours from Scarefest, which is like one of the biggest in the whole country now. I don't have any interest in going. That show is too big, thousands and thousands of people. And up to this point, like, what is it, like 80 guests now or 100 guests or whatever? I mean, how do you even keep track of it?
It's anybody they can get, it seems like. It's just like, would you say that that's the biggest horror convention in the U.S. right now? Or?
That's what I don't know. I mean, it's got to be up there. I'm not really sure.
Because, I mean, Horror Hound's pretty big. I've been to a couple of those. But I've never been to a Scarefest because it's always just like so fucking big, so much. Yeah, and I'm like a couple hours down the road from it as well. So it's
where it's located at is the big problem too, because it's right in the heart of like downtown Lexington. It's connected with Rupp Arena, and there's not a lot of parking down there. Like there's really not. And dude, they fill that up every year. Like we're talking, what would you say, 15,000 plus people at least?
Yeah, at least, yeah. I mean, it has gotten way too big. It used to be like about half the size of what it is right now, in terms of like the square footage that they used, and in terms of like the guests that they got. And it was a pretty basic convention. And then these millionaires took it over. And now it's just like some sort of mega.
They're just throwing money at everything.
Comic-Con style show that's like, it's wild to go to. You can't even really move. Like there's so many people there. But I would much prefer to go to something like Living Dead Weekend or something where there's some space and you can get around a little bit.
That's the thing. Like that's why I liked the shows so well back then. Is like it was a simple setup, right? It wasn't too annoying to get to and from. Whereas like these shows now, I'm like, I just don't have the patience. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about that Scarefest show was that I thought was odd is that they had Galen Ross, Scott Reiniger, and Ken Forey as guests. Which I was like, that's interesting because, I mean, that's just like, what, a week out from Living Dead Weekend?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep. So, Living Dead weekend though, this is in, what is it? You say it was the 10th year coming up?
Yeah, we started in 2015. This is our 10th year that we're in.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that, because the first time that I had heard about it was through Michael Felcher. He was like, "Hey, you guys need to check this show out. It's a smaller show. It's at the mall. It's very laid back. It's along the lines of what you guys loved from the conventions of the past." So, but yeah, I didn't realize it had been going on this long. So yeah, the 10th show. And you guys for sure, we think it's for sure, at least one more show after this at the mall, right?
Well, we plan to do, well, I'll give you a little scoop. I know you guys like scoops. So
Yeah. Scoop.
We want to do 2 shows next year. And then maybe something at the very end, in April or so, maybe March or April, before the mall, something, goes away. So that's what we're looking at, but we don't have any dates yet to really tell you anything definite, but that's what we want to do. We just have to wait for contracts and things like that to be signed before we can announce dates.
Yeah, because I was getting on to Garrett, because his ass, like, holy shit. Like, what is Rhode Island from Pittsburgh? It couldn't be too awful far, I don't think, right? He could
kind of far.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, well, Pittsburgh is, just to get to New Jersey from Pittsburgh is like at least 5 hours. So then you're going up north from New Jersey probably, and that's probably another 5 hours of Rhode Island. It would be a fucking, part of my language.
He could fly in. He's rich. He could afford it.
Yeah, he's rich. He can do it.
Yeah.
I wanted to, Larry. I wanted to ask. So Kevin Kreis is the major domo, the man behind it all for Living Dead weekend, and he's got, of course, Living Dead Museum in the mall, and he's got somewhat of a relationship with the people that own the mall now.
Yes.
From what I've read and from what I've heard, it sounds like the new ownership is pretty adamant on trying to get people out of that mall as quickly as they possibly can, trying to buy out, leases and stuff like that. Will there be, have you heard, I don't know, is there any kind of butting heads or back and forth between Kevin and those guys about doing anything in the future? Or are they like, no, we're trying to get you out as quickly as possible? Or what have you?
No, Kevin isn't having any problems as far as problems with them or having, a problem to having the events. I mean, the management is actually pretty hands-off currently. The owners are pretty hands-off, but since they took over the mall in January, when Walmart pretty much bought the entire property, they have raised rents on all the various stores, and people who come up with, it's their time to renew their contract and such. They've all had their rents raised if they come up for, rent renewal. So that is an effort to try to make people leave by raising it dramatically. So they are trying to have people leave, but it has been told to us, and we've known this for months now before the news just came out recently, that April 2027 was pretty much the end date. That's what they're looking at. It's the same as all the stories are in the news currently, but we knew that a few months ago. Mm. So anything during that time before that is pretty much a go as far as what Kevin keeps talking to them about for any kind of events. But we just need to have contracts signed and stuff before we can make official announcements for dates and things like that.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering about, because all I've heard, any articles you read or any quotes you hear from other store owners and stuff that are in the mall, it's like they're, trying to make a push to really get them out as quickly as possible. And it sounds like Walmart's kind of disappointed that it's taken as long as it is. So I didn't know what that was.
Well, what I think maybe some people do or do not know is that some of the places there, some of the stores have leases until 2030. So then in that case, they're not up for renewal. They're not going to be raised. They can't be raised because they already have contracts. So they try to buy them out, say they have 3 more years beyond the date that they want to close the mall. So they have to try to buy out those contracts and get them to leave early. So that's an issue that they have to deal with on certain stores that are leased for a long time.
Okay, that makes sense then.
I mean, Barnes & Noble is one of those too. There's a Barnes & Noble there, right?
Yeah.
That I think it has a lease until 2030. So they would have to be bought out for, the whole mall closes and everything. So they have to deal with certain stores and try to get them out in that legal way of giving them some kind of incentive or just some kind of payout, so they will leave in time for that date that they want in April of 2027.
Stay. Don't take the buy.
Very cool.
Barnes and Noble say, "Fuck you, I ain't leaving."
Larry, for you, when was the first time you went to visit the mall? What year?
Oh, that was a great one. It was. I was a vendor. I started becoming a vendor at conventions in 2007, and I wanted to go all different places, and I saw that there was a convention, Horror Hound, that was taking place in Pittsburgh, 2008. So I'm like, it's right across the street from the mall at the Expo Mart, and I can vend there. That'll get me there. Oh, I'm doing it. I got to go see the Dawn of the Dead Mall. It was always a dream to go on a tour or go see the mall or something. And so I vended at that show. It was terrible, but it was the most amazing trip that I ever went on, because I got to see the mall and the cemetery on that trip and the airport. And I had only dreamed about that since the Ultimate Edition of Dawn of the Dead came out in 2004, because I saw that mall tour that Greg Nicotero filmed. And I thought, I got to go there someday. So then 4 years go by, and I finally end up vending at a show there, and that's how I got there for my first time.
Interesting. I think that was the only Pittsburgh show that they did, Horror Hound, right?
Yeah, it was the only one. It was the only show they did there.
And it didn't do well?
It didn't. I didn't do good as a vendor. It was poorly attended for some reason. It just didn't do well.
Yeah, I kind of remember that, but I don't remember like the guests or anything who all they brought in for that show. But
John Landis was there, and they premiered that documentary on American Werewolf in London. Griffin Dunn was there. A lot of Romero people, of course. Savini, Nicotero. It was the first appearance of like John Amplis and Daryl Ferrucci, who was Fluffy in Creepshow. It had a lot of great guests, but for some reason, it just was poorly attended.
So we got a lot of people in the chat. We've got a couple of questions and comments in here. Matter of Pat's comment said that his highlight from the last Living Dead weekend was meeting Uncle Bill. What the hell? What kind of highlight's that?
Hey, it was my highlight too, honestly.
There you go. Thank you, Larry.
It was. I remember running into Larry, and Larry was like, Uncle Bill's around here somewhere. I just met him, and we talked for a while. He's super cool, and I was like, oh, yeah, I saw him.
The best part about the best part about that, though, is when I met Pat, I walked out of one of the convention halls and walked right into him, and he was wearing that shirt, with my face on it. And I'm just like, what the hell? It was the weirdest thing.
That was the moment he realized he'd made it. Uncle Bill was starting to get the ego.
That was it right there. I was like,
when you start seeing yourself on somebody else's shirt, it's a surreal.
What happened to Uncle Bill's room?
Well,
he finally knocked that wall out that guy was doing.
Yeah. So this is in process.
He's building that addition.
Yeah. This is like the same house. I just like further back into it and starting to build onto it. Now, like, this is a new house that we just bought, and I'm trying to like make this into my room, and it's like, it's quite an undertaking for sure right now. But,
well, you get to start from scratch, though. That's kind of fun. Like, as long as you still have a bunch of posters and frames and stuff, so it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, now you got plenty of room to buy more and more Vinegar Syndrome titles,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's my dream. I wish to God you could see the amount of Vinegar Syndrome titles I'm staring at right now. It's freaking
Speaking
ridiculous.
of which, I think we're going to go visit the Vinegar Syndrome archive store is open now in Pittsburgh, I think, right?
That's right.
Officially.
It is.
That's open now, yeah.
So I'll probably go and check that at some point during the weekend. That'll be fun.
Yeah, what else do you guys got planned for that weekend? You guys going to do anything else? Check out any other stuff around Pittsburgh? Or go get you a slaw sandwich?
No, I'm not going to do that. I'll pass on that one.
I did that last time, and it was actually I thought it was really good.
Thank you, Uncle Bill. I agree.
I'll pass on the vomit sandwiches or whatever they're called. Just give me an old-fashioned cheeseburger, brother.
Here's the thing. All CK's done is bitch about the fries being on the sandwich and all this shit.
And the slaw. Oh, God. Fucking, I hate slaw.
So listen, here's what you do, buddy. You tell them to take the slaw off. Yeah, and put the fries on the side. It'll be fine.
They're going to put some of that pink
that's what I do.
sawdust stuff like they did over the vomit in elementary school.
Yeah, that comes on it.
That's like the. But everybody likes Permane Brothers, right? I'm hoping that I'll meet Kurt Angle because he lives in Pittsburgh. Does he ever go shopping at the mall? You guys ever seen him?
Never
Never
seen
bumped into Kurt Angle. No.
That would be killer because, like, he still lives in Pittsburgh, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never bumped into him anywhere, but I don't know if Kurt Angle would be, shopping at Eads or any of the other spots that, wandering around a cemetery up in Evan City or something like that.
That'd be so awesome. They just be in there like.
He'd be in Lids or something shopping for.
No.
Have you guys ever checked out Eads? I think I've mentioned it before, maybe in the Discord or something like that.
Many times.
On Penn Avenue downtown. It's a physical media store. It's like one floor of it is like Blu-rays and 4Ks and DVDs and vintage stuff. Like there's old big box porn in the back, and and then the next level is like comic books and stuff. The next level is records. There's like a whole vinyl area up there. Like it's pretty incredible. Prices are a little high, but they do negotiate. They're pretty open to negotiate. I didn't even try to negotiate something. They negotiated it with me. I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take that for $10, sure. But yeah, check that out. It's on Penn Avenue. It's Eads, EIDES. While you're there, if you get time.
I checked out. I think Phantasmat told me to check out Jerry's Records or something like that. Have you ever been to it?
I've never been to Jerry's. No.
It's as far as like per square footage. It has the most vinyl records that I've ever seen in one spot. Like, I don't know. It would take months to haul that shit out of there. Like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that it just didn't, like, there wasn't an avalanche of records that just fell over in some of those spots. Because it looked like that shit had been there for, like, it probably has been there for decades. But, yeah, if he's in the chat, he can give you more details on it. I just Googled it and got the address, but
yeah,
I didn't buy anything because
I heard you talking about that with Ryan the other day on that MWO podcast.
Yeah, they only accept cash in there, so I wasn't prepared, so I didn't buy anything.
Places like that though, man, when there's so much shit, like it just gives me. I either have to spend the entire day there, or it's a waste of my time because I'm just gonna.
That's the thing. That's one of those places, yeah. Because I found like a couple things just randomly walking by. Like they had a Savage Street soundtrack and, I don't know, a couple of John Anderson records. I'm a big fan of John Anderson.
Well, who
I
is
ended up, yeah.
If we can't get along.
Your love's better than money in the bank. All right, so Living Dead weekend coming up. Now, this is a funny story. I don't know if Larry knows this, because like we interviewed Romero for about a 90-minute interview a few years ago, well, many years ago at this point. And I asked him, I was like, what is your favorite zombie movie that's not one of yours? Just to see what he would say, right? And he couldn't give me an answer. And he was like, well, what do you guys think? I was like, well, what about Return of the Living Dead? And he was like, like he didn't really want to put it over. So I mean, I know you guys can't do like a, Dawn of the Dead reunion every year or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, you're doing Return of the Living Dead, which is a huge fan favorite as well. So I have no issues with that. And our buddy Tom Matthews is going to be there. So I'm excited. I've never actually met him in person, but we've talked to him a couple of times.
Listen,
well,
I know like this is going to happen though. Like, one way or another, we're going to have to ask Tom Matthews if he'll go to Applebee's with us. And that's going to be a hard sell. I realize that. He doesn't know us. We're going to go
We're going to Applebee's later on this evening. You want to go with us?
But if you offer to pay,
I will pay myself if we can just get a picture with Tom Matthews in front of Applebee's. That's my goal for this whole entire trip.
That's funny, yeah.
Well, so is Felcher not planning on being there this time around?
That's what he says. We'll see. He could just be no-selling it, man. And he'll show up, and we'll get him in the picture too. If he doesn't show up, I want to see if Tom Matthews will call him a pussy on video, though, for not being there.
There you go. That's what you need to do.
That'd be great too.
Do it. Do it.
Fuck you, Slippy, you pussy.
Yep.
The best and the only Tom Matthews impression on the internet. There you go.
Well,
I've never heard anybody else
love,
even
too.
attempt to do a Tom Matthews impression.
You know the
there's
funny
no
thing?
need to.
When I was a kid, and I don't know if, because we're all, well, I think Alpha's a little bit younger than us, but not much. I mean, we're around the same age.
I'm a little bit
catching
older.
up. Yeah, we're all getting a little bit older. That's all I'll say. I'll turn 29 every year is what I tell people. But I always thought that Michael Dudikoff and Tom Matthews was the same guy for years and years and years. I thought it was the same actor.
Well, they had very similar hair, you know.
They
And
did.
that same look.
They looked like very close to one another. Yeah. So I didn't know if I was like the only one, but yeah, I always thought that was the same guy. I was like, I'd go up to him if IMDb didn't exist. I'd be like, man, I loved you in American Ninja. You were
And a
great.
benching force too.
Yeah.
Probably would even carry. Probably say, "Oh, thanks."
He'd sign. I mean, you give him money, he'll sign it. He don't care. But Return of the Living Dead, and I like the fact that you're doing people from part 2 because I'm actually a big fan of part 2 as well. And you don't see many actors from the sequel doing conventions. So whose idea was that to maybe get a couple of those cast members in there?
Well, we had, of course, scheduled. We had booked Stacy Q, who worked on the soundtrack to Return of the Living Dead, and she ended up canceling. So then we had to look for some replacements. And the first one we thought of was what's her name, Melinda Clark from Return of the Living Dead Part 3, because she would be a good one, fan favorite. But I guess that didn't work out. So then we added 2 people from Return 2 because we already have, Alan Troutman, who was Tarman in the second one. We have Tom Matthews, who was in the second one. So it just made a little sense, to add 2 people from Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
See, I didn't even realize that Troutman was Tarman in the sequel. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
I didn't either. Who you getting from Necropolis and Rave to the Grave?
Well, Billy Butler, of course.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote them.
He's really proud of those movies.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Did he really? I didn't even know that.
He did.
Well, his excuse was that it was rewritten numerous times, is what he says. But we'll see. He also, you want to talk about a real life Forrest Gump in filmmaking. Bill Butler is it, man, because he painted the heads of the Garbage Pail Kids from the Garbage Pail Kids movies. He talked about that as well. That's kind of interesting.
He's been in pretty much almost every night. He was in Leatherface. He was in Friday the 13th. Wasn't he in a Friday the 13th as well?
He was.
Yeah, he's been in every franchise that you can think of. Of course, Night 90. He's been all over the damn place. So yeah. I was really disappointed that that's not going to be there, and I'm pretty upset that Brian Peck isn't going to make it to this show.
You would be.
I know you are.
About
I know
that.
you are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, the documentary. More Brian.
He had a documentary.
He was
Right,
the voice of the documentary.
Right.
I mean,
Well, he had
Jesus,
another
no one more
documentary that came
synonymous
out a
with it.
couple years ago too.
Sure.
What was the name of that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was prominently featured in that one too.
Yeah, he's a current. He's in the news, man. So that'd be
He's out there. He's available too. Yeah.
I'll
I'm
bet.
sure. I'm sure he'll do anything. Him and Tony Moran are going to go on tour together.
Yeah.
I think
They're
that's
doing
one
weddings.
that Tony Moran may be getting booked more than Brian Peck. Oh,
Seems that
just a
way.
little bit more.
Seems like Tony Moran will show up at a car wash if you ask him.
Well, he's doing a lot of the haunted hay rides right now. That's kind of his thing, and used car dealerships.
Did I tell you the story about Tony Moran recently doing a convention in Kentucky, like a small convention in Frankfurt? And
I heard about that one.
he was apparently drunk or high or a combination of both, allegedly off his ass the entire time. And people would walk up to him and he would just scream at him and stuff and be like, "You can't afford my autograph." They walk by him. I guess he got mad.
I wonder if he's still hooked up with Fancy Nancy.
Yeah,
I was wondering about that.
I think she was at that show.
She was at the same show.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so it's like I'm pretty sure they're still.
So there's like
book,
true love there in between those two.
If you want to book Michael Myers, you got to get Fancy Nancy.
That's how he sells it. Just like that.
Look at those tits. That was the funniest shit. Is that podcast still on, the Halloween thing that he was on that one time?
They took it off, but we do have a link to it in the Discord if anybody wants to check it out. We had to keep it. Dude, like there was one guy that was associated with that show that wanted it erased completely from the internet.
Why? Like, I don't even understand that. Like,
I don't know.
That's the most iconic moment in that show's history, probably. Like, I would promote that everywhere. I'd be like, this was the moment that Tony Moran had a complete breakdown. And
I don't know either because, like, yeah, that was one of the craziest like live streams I think I've ever seen. Maybe the craziest.
And just watching the evolution of their faces as it went on, and you can just tell that like their heads are this close to just exploding.
I loved it that like one of the guys was really into it, and the other two were just like, "Please God, let me disappear." You could just see it.
It's totally.
I'm the only one that's Michael Myers, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's worth joining the Patreon just for access to see that.
And this is like a 2 hour. How long was it? Like 2 hours?
Oh yeah, it went on and on.
It was long enough for him to get drunk, sober up, and then get drunk again. That's how long it went on.
And funny enough, I met him at a convention in 2008, and I have his autograph over here somewhere. So
yeah, I do too from years.
And he hit on my cousin's girlfriend. I remember at the time because it was at the VIP after party, and he was shit faced there. And he came over and was like sitting next to her and had his arm around her and stuff. And she was all like, "Oh, Michael Myers is into me" and shit like that. And knowing what we know now, it's like, oh yeah, it makes total sense, you know.
Yep.
MacBoy Color was at the original Zombie Jamboree way back in 1993. He says that it was amazing. Everyone was signing for free, got the gold pass for $75, which included going to the re-premiere of Night of the Living Dead with Romero and the cast and the mall tour with Savini. That would have been really cool because the mall back then was probably very much like
it was the same almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of. I would love to have been at that Zombie Jamboree back then, but I mean,
I think that they did a lot of the extras from that Laserdisc back at that one too, right? Or that was right around the time that Laserdisc was coming out from like Elite Entertainment.
I think that was a little bit later. You know, you're talking about the footage with Felcher.
Well, didn't they do a commentary and stuff with like? Wasn't it the cast and everything on that? On
the Night of the Living Dead Elite.
That one, yeah, that was around the same time.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the only like commentaries with Keith Wayne on it, I think, wasn't it? That's like one of the only things he ever did.
Had to have been the only one, right? Because it was just a year or two later, right, that he passed away.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, how many of those did they do? The Zombie Jamborees.
Only one.
I had a freaking program from that show that was signed by a bunch of people that I bought off of somebody, and I can't find it. I don't know what
it's signed by all the Night of Living Dead people.
It's like Marilyn Eastman was on there, and like I was like, Jesus Christ, what happened to this? Because I know like I had it, and it's like can't find it.
You didn't find it
crazy to this day.
You didn't find it while you were moving? That's usually when I find all kinds of shit that I forgot.
No, I thought surely I would find it, but no.
Well, usually when I move, like I was like, I'll come across this and like I've lost it for good, whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
Tom Matthews doesn't have a lisp. I kind of just added that in there for fun. I don't think he has a lisp.
He's got something. I mean, in the movies anyway. I don't know what that is.
Your impression is kind of like just an impression of Tom Matthews in Return of the Living Dead going, "Oh, Tina, I want your brains."
I can
Yeah, it's
smell
like-
him, darling. It smells really good. I want to put
You
some
make
sweet
my
baby
you
ranch
made me
sauce
break
on your
my
brain.
hand completely off, but I still love you.
Yeah.
And you have to let me eat your brain.
Put some salt and pepper on him, Tina. Get him ready.
What a great performance.
Jackson Jack did say that Brian Peck would really like your mustache.
Oh,
Whoa.
I'm too old. He ain't into me. He get one look at my old balls and be like, I'm out of here on that one.
You know what's wild though is like when they did the promotion for the Blu-ray and the DVD and everything, like he was part of all that, right? Like that was not, and this was after he did the prison. How much time did he do in prison? I don't even know.
Only like 16 months or something.
But this was, after that. So I don't know if it just wasn't public knowledge.
It really wasn't, because he even was doing conventions for a while. I met him at a Monster Mania in 2010.
Yeah, I don't think a
It
lot
just
of that
wasn't
stuff
public
really.
knowledge.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of this stuff really came to light until that documentary came out. Because a lot of stuff I didn't even know about, like, it was off my radar until that came out. So yeah, that I think that kind of.
Well, a lot of that too, like with even the Victor Salva stuff, like people that were working on some of his movies up until just like a few years ago, supposedly had no idea about all that, which is wild.
I'll tell you what I did find, by the way, while I was moving some of this shit, is if anybody wants a shit ton of Victor Salva, like
Love letters.
autograph, love letters.
I'll take them.
There, dude. Now that I think back upon this probably wasn't like a healthy thing, but like he sent like original screen, what do you call them?
Storyboards, yeah.
Wow.
Like a bunch of them from like Jeepers Creepers 2. He sent like tons of behind the scenes stuff like that, and like he sent that figure, which I've still got. It's like,
Think of this though. Victor Salva sent Uncle Bill a toy in the mail.
yeah, yep.
It's something you can tell your grandkids about one day, Uncle Bill.
That's right. There is history connected to that. See.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the thing too for us, like the horror fine convention, and then that led to like our first site that we started doing was like through the mail autographs. So we got all kinds of contacts eventually for the show with the through the mail stuff, and Victor was one of Uncle Bill's pen pals through the mail.
He wasn't. Listen, let's be clear.
Took a real
have a-
liking to you, didn't he?
To have a pen pal, you have to like write back and forth. I wrote to him. He sent me the stuff. That was
There was some really cool one of a kind stuff you could get from through the mail autographs back in the day though, because Angus Scrimm was like one of the best through the mail autograph guys ever from Phantasm, the tall man, right? And I think the best item just for its uniqueness was his photo with his two little Yorkie dogs. I can still think of their names, like Pepper and Sugar or something like that. Because he signed both of their names too, and then signed his name on the photo. And I was like, this is just amazing. Still have it somewhere.
Good old Angus. I've been watching a lot of Phantasm here lately. Just Halloween season always gets me in the mood for fucking Phantasm, so I've been kind of. I don't know. I'm going to like my Halloween selections this year that I've been watching a lot of. Like last night, I watched Society, Brian Usna's Society.
Mm-hmm.
Like a couple days ago, I watched From Beyond, which I hadn't seen either one of those before until now. Just like in the mood for like weird fucking body horror this year, and in Phantasm, I watch that every year. It's just like the perfect Halloween movie is fucking Phantasm. The soundtrack, the vibe. I just yeah.
Oh yeah. I love the soundtrack for Phantasm. Like that's one of those movies too that if you've got the soundtrack itself, when you listen to it, it almost, if you close your eyes, it's almost like you're in the damn movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird. Yeah. But so some other stuff coming up this weekend. On Friday night, there is a Return of the Living Dead screening at the theater inside the mall.
Yes.
So we got to definitely promote that. And then the cast is doing kind of like an introduction and all that.
Yeah, and also after that screening's over, we're having an after party with drinks and food for anybody who bought a ticket for the screening, and that's free. So you don't have to pay anything else. There's all kind of drinks, food, and stuff, and it's going to be on our photo op set of like the cemetery that we built. I don't know if you guys saw that stuff yet, but we built a sort of warehouse set for the photo ops. We built a cemetery set and a whole bunch of barrels and stuff, like a basement set, and that's where the after party is going to be too. So that's pretty cool.
That's really neat.
Yeah,
sure.
I will say, man, Living Dead Weekend like goes all out for their photo ops. Like I see a lot of photo ops, and it's either like, sometimes they'll have a glass partition between you and the celebrity, and
it's like a bad prom photo too, or something.
Yeah.
They got that
It's
backdrop.
But they fucking go all out with something. They did like back in June they did the Ritz from Day of the Dead with like all the
came out
Terry
good.
Alexander and Charles Connery. That was fucking just awesome shit. Like the photo ops are like more so worth it than a lot of the bigger ones. They literally stand you in front of a curtain with the guy and take your picture and move you on like cattle, So
Yep.
So yeah, I highly recommend
the Eli Roth one was kind of like that, but
that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, you just kind of like you're in there for like 2 seconds and then they like throw you out. Come on, let's go.
But yeah, I mean that's the advantage that you get to going to like one of these small. I don't want to say it's a smaller show, but it really is compared to like Horror Hound and Scarefest and stuff. So you really get more time with the people from the movies, and you're not rushed. You're not, like, hey, come on, get out here, go on to the next one.
Yeah. And I've never had that experience. Like literally a lot of the times you can just kind of walk up and talk to whoever. And usually most of the time though, they're down to talk with you. Like it's not like their handlers like, oh, you have to pay money to talk to this person, or you have to get an autograph to do this, or stand in line to wait to get a ticket to stand in line to get into the, it's not, it's much more, I don't know. It's much more, it has much more family atmosphere. I think it's mostly it's like a big reunion for everybody. The people there, people that go to the show, like I don't know, it's much more laid back and just kind of like, hey, we're hanging out at the mall, and hey, look, all these awesome people here, like type of thing, It's a much
and everybody's
different
there for the same thing too, where you go to a lot of different conventions and you're going to have segmented bits of fandom, people for Phantasm, fans are there for Terrifier, fans are there for this and that, but we all come to the mall for the same reason. So you're going to get along with all the people there, and it's really like a family. You become friends with a lot of people, and you meet a lot of cool people who have the same interest in Romero that you do. So that's always a great thing too,
Yeah.
I was going to ask Larry if he knew anything about this too, because I get a couple people from time to time, because we talked about this probably 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Night of the Living Dead 2. What the hell ever happened to that with the Day of the Dead cast?
Right. Like you said, it was sort of, I don't know why they named it Night of the Living Dead 2, because it's the Day of the Dead cast members who survived at the end of that movie. But that's what they named it, and they shot a sort of promotional short, maybe to generate interest, and they were going around promoting it and hopefully getting some interest to make a feature, and I guess they couldn't get any money or anybody to have interest in it, so nothing has ever happened with it.
Like a lot of projects start out like that now. Like that's kind of the modern way of financing an independent movie now, is to shoot a little bit, show it, as like a teaser trailer, and if enough people say, I can't wait to see it, then they can say, investors like, oh, look at all the people that are interested in buying a ticket to this,
There's a big thing going on between like Return of the Living Dead cast members and the people making the Return of the Living Dead remake, which it's the same guy that did what is it called? Killer Goats or something like that?
Well, the funny thing is his name is Steve Walsh. And me and Kevin and Mandy, our whole crew from Living Dead Weekend, we met him before. he used to be involved with Night of the Living Dead for a while. In 2018, for the 50th anniversary, he was involved heavily with creating that box set that was available at like FYE and stuff, that big, nice box set with the Criterion and all the lobby cards and stuff. And he was there at the 50th anniversary showing of Night of the Living Dead. So we met him and got to talking to him. And he was interesting to hear, what he thought about these things and how much he knew about horror, because we're hardcore horror fans. We can smell somebody who's not, really into it. And we could tell maybe he wasn't so much as knowledgeable as you might think or you would want him to be, even though he has this property, or he's sort of working with Night of the Living Dead, and he's working with Return of the Living Dead, and he owns these things, and we knew he was kind of weird or shady at that time. And then it turns out a little bit of time goes by, and he didn't end up paying the royalties and stuff that was owed to Night of the Living Dead for the use of their images and creating the box set and products and stuff. So they had to sever ties with him, and I think they even sued him. So then he has no ties to Night of the Living Dead now, and now he's just all about Return of the Living Dead, because he had bought the rights from, like, I think Bill Stout for Tarman and all different stuff like that. He bought rights from Bill Stout for some reason, and I don't know what else he bought. So he does have some rights, and he has a right to do some stuff, but maybe he oversteps his bounds sometimes, and that's where the whole conflict comes into play with the original cast members,
Yeah. I know he pissed Beverly Randolph off, and that's something hard to do.
That's something you just don't do. Yeah.
Thank God.
You've done something really bad if she's mad at you, for sure. No. But
what's the status on that? Is that actually happening? The Return remake, because they did the teaser kind of like they did with Night 2, where it's Tarman walking through the cemetery.
Santa Tarman.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a post about it recently, and I think there's a group on Facebook for crew members of people who worked on movies and TV shows and stuff. It's called Crew or something, Crew Member or something. And somebody posted that they worked on that sort of teaser and stuff, and they're working on his current thing. He filmed like maybe 5 or 6 days in August or something on this new movie that he's doing. And the person still hasn't been paid. So people keep coming out of the woodwork like, I haven't been paid. He's not paying people. He's shiesty as fuck. You want to be frank about it,
So it sounds like it's on the up and up, then. It sounds like a real legit production.
Well, it's like...
Yeah. I mean, anything that works for them, frankly, it would be stupid.
Whenever he... Is this the same people that whenever he got the rights for Return of the Living Dead, that was when all of that shit was mass marketed to hell? Like T-shirts, tall man figures.
Yes.
Like, so okay, he probably owns some form of it, but there's no way he should be controlling all of that, right? I mean, that just doesn't seem...
No, I would think the studio would still own most of that, except for something like Tarman, which was created by Bill Stout. I don't see him having any right to do anything as far as really when the studio should own all that crap. I don't even think Linnea and Beverly should be able to do that stuff. In my opinion, I would think the studio would own it.
You would think,
then again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know all the rules. I don't know what's going on, but it just seems all off to me. Like, how do you do that? I thought the studio would own that stuff.
Yeah, because like toys and like there's a Tarman hot sauce, I think they even made.
Yeah, it's
hats,
weird. I don't know how it works. I do not know how it works.
That's wild, yeah. John Grande is going to be there next weekend. That'll be fun. He's going to be at both the screenings this weekend. Very excited.
I think
he's all about a party afterwards.
I think me and Grande are planning on going to the bridge from Tales from the Dark Side, because he loves that show. I've never been to that location, so I told him we're going.
That's a ways away, though, isn't it? And
it's it's about an hour and a half. So it'd be
out in Pittsburgh County.
Yeah. Probably try to get up maybe like early Saturday morning and meet up and head there and be back.
Just be careful for deer. I went out there in 2021, and on the way back, a deer jumped out, hit my car, and it ended up being totaled because of it. So watch out for deer.
Well, I'm used to that here. I mean,
we have a lot of those here too.
They'll run through my front yard. I live in a subdivision. There's deer just all in the subdivision most of the damn time. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye out for deer at all times. I've been born and raised to fear the deer, as they say. There's also, I think, on the way there, I was looking at it. I think there's the house from Effects. I think is on the way in Legionnaire. I think.
Yeah. That's out there.
Maybe check it out. I don't know. Is there somebody own that house now? Would they be? It's like the Night 90 house. Are they going to pull out a gun if we get too close?
I went there once back in 2019 with Eric Kent, and we had no issues. But you got to be careful out in the woods. Out in the boondocks. Just be careful, no matter what.
So wait a minute. What's the story with the Night 90 house?
Get off my property.
Oh, Larry's got a great story.
Okay.
Go ahead, Larry.
That's a big, long story, but I can tell it's a good one. So, a lot of people go there, and sometimes they have some issues. And I'm one of those people who went there and had an issue. Okay. So, in 2012, I sort of arranged an informal tour of a lot of George Romero film locations, and I invited anybody who wanted to go along. And that's how I met Kevin and Daz, who was our webmaster, and Mandy, Kevin's girlfriend. We all created the Living Dead Weekend. And we all got together and became friends because of this tour that I put together for like 4 or 5 days, anywhere we could go in those days. And one of the places I went with my buddy Daz, who was our Living Dead Weekend webmaster, was the house from Night 90. Okay. I had written them a letter trying to be safe ahead of time. And I sent the letter and nothing happened. And then when I got home, I saw that it was returned to sender. So I must have had a bad address or something. So I go out there and I'm driving in my car. I drive right up the driveway. Daz is on the side of me, and we pull up right alongside the house. And he says, okay, he's British, okay? He says, he's got a gun. And I look over here, and the fucking guy is on the porch, the owner, with a rifle slung in his arm, like resting in his arms, cradling it like a baby. So I'm like, oh, fuck. I put the car in reverse. I don't even try to do it. You can't turn nothing. I'm going to reverse right the fuck out of there. And as I'm reversing, the guy comes off the porch and he's walking in front of the car as I'm reversing out of the driveway. Okay? So then, if you drive by the house, you see there's a road that runs beside it. And this road, you can go on the road and it overlooks the entire property. So you can just go there and take pictures if you can't get on the property, if you want to be safe. So we went around the corner on this road that, overlooks the property. And I'm parked there for a second and I said, get out, take some pictures. Daz, take some pictures. And all of a sudden we start to hear gunshots going off. Pow, pow, pow.
Jesus.
And so then we're like, oh, fuck, get in the car. We're out of here. So then we go around another road and we hit the spot that's in the opening of the movie when they're driving to the cemetery. There's just like this road spot that's out there, rolling hills. We hit that. And then we go to the cemetery. And then one thing leads to another. And Daz ends up being missing. And this is a funny part of the story. And Michael knows this. Alpha knows it. All of a sudden, I'm like, where's Daz? We're looking for all the spots in the cemetery from Night 90. It's right there down the road, a couple miles from the house. And I'm trying to figure out where the tombstones you see in the movie and all that. And all of a sudden, Daz is missing. I'm looking for him. And I'm like, Daz, where are you? I'm like, there's no sound. He's not around. I can't find him. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, this is getting creepy. And then it turns out he was in the woods. He had to take shit real bad. And I always joke that he was scared so bad at that house that it scared the shit out of him. I mean, there's more to the story where he stepped on a nail and his foot was bleeding when he came out the woods. He had no pants on, no socks and shoes on. He had a shirt hanging out over his ass and stuff. He was filthy. It was a fucking mess. And
that's the definition of a bad day. Right there.
He the shit scared out of him. He says it was the Dairy Queen we had for lunch that day, but I say it was because of the gunshots.
Probably, yeah.
So,
Poor
moral of
guy.
the story is, if you plan on visiting the house from Night 90, be careful.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Oh, and I've heard of other people going there and getting the same treatment. So sometimes they're not so nice, but then I've heard of other people that have been there and things have gone nicer or nicely. But I've heard of other people getting the same treatment. So yeah. Be careful.
Yeah, that's the thing with for the cemetery, like you said, from Night 90, right down the road from that house, and that's a beautiful location to check out if anybody gets a chance to check that. It's in Washington, PA, right outside of Pittsburgh. That's one thing I'll say with like anybody that if you go to these locations and stuff is like be respectful, be careful.
Absolutely.
the girl. So last June when I was at Living Dead Weekend, there's a tattoo shop there at the mall, and me and my buddy Matt Landrum, we got matching. If I can show it, if it fucking there we go. I can't turn my arm the right way.
Monroeville Mall logo.
Monroeville Mall logo at the mall. And the girl doing my tattoo actually owns the red house in Dawn of the Dead that you see when, you know, the rednecks and the National Guard are on the road. You see the red house in the background. She owns that house. She lives there. And she was asking me about the movie and all that. And I'm talking about, yeah, I'm a big fan. She was like, oh, well, you might be interested in knowing this, but you know that red house in the movie? And I'm like, yeah, of course. She's like, I live there. I mean, my husband bought that house a couple of years ago. What is it with you people? And you're weird. Like, you stop and you look at our house constantly. And there was people walking through our yard all times. Like, I even had somebody looking at my windows one day. Like, and I was just like, yeah, sorry about that. You know, she's just like, some people are respectful, but some people are just really fucking nosy and real. You know, I was like, yeah, I'll put out the word to people to, you know, be a little more respectful, I guess. But yeah, just try to be, you know, as discreet as you can, I guess, because people do live at these houses and, you know,
sure,
stay at these places.
Well, apparently, like, isn't the actual Knot 68 house like also, aren't those people like not?
Their house is, of course, private property, and they don't want people traipsing around their cornfields and stuff and bothering them. And they have chased people off. I've seen it; it's happened to me. But I did tours up there in Evans City for Night of Living Dead, and they actually allowed me and Living Dead Weekend to bring the tours up there on the property, and I would explain to everybody everything that happened, where the house was, because there's a new house there. And I was able to do that from 2015 until 2019, and then COVID hit, and then we didn't start again until 2022 and 23. And then we didn't have Evans City anymore after that. But I did tours all those years, and we would ask permission every year, and they would always give it to us, and we would tell them the time that would be there, and they would allow us to go there for a tour on a Saturday and a Sunday, and they would be fine with it, as long as I would tell people, you know, don't come here on your own. We have special permission. I have permission to bring you guys here, and please be respectful at all times. They're very nice to allow us to do these tours, and they've always been great to us in that way. But don't go there on your own, try to go on the property or anything. Like Alpha said, be respectful.
Yeah. Which, question for you guys, something we were discussing the other night on the channel on a stream. We were talking about the mall and the future of the mall and everything, and why it's kind of touching a nerve with so many people. Can you guys think of any other similar location that is as, I don't know, important to a movie like Dawn of the Dead, what the mall is, that's now in the process of, you know, going away? Because I really couldn't think of anything like the house, like the Myers house from Halloween, maybe. But a lot of the ones I could think of are like just houses that people live in now, type of thing.
Well, the thing about it is that the whole centerpiece of that movie is the mall. To whereas like in Halloween, like the house is just a part of that whole story. You know what I mean? And like same thing with Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just a part. That house is a part of that.
What about
story.
the Texas Chainsaw House, though?
I mean, to an extent, but.
It's not in the same location. I think that hurts it quite a bit. To me, that brings it down a notch. They moved it, but there's like a home video that somebody took in the early 90s of that, and it was
I've seen that.
Holy shit. Like it gave me goosebumps just watching the video of it.
I can think of like the Amityville house, but like they changed the look of it from what I can understand. So it's not like it doesn't have the same look, but that house is like firmly connected to that movie. You know what I mean? Like that's as like notable, but it's not even the same house design anymore or anything. So I can't think of like a piece of land or a house or something that's
Stanley Hotel, but that's just like the exterior though, right?
Yeah. Something that massive though, like a house or something, like you could kind of, if you needed to, you could probably crowdfund, you know, buy a house and saving it or something like that. But the mall, there's really nothing you can do about it because it's, you know, it's a public place. Like it's you know, it's a
well, it's really
that's not always going to be there, you know.
Yeah,
it's really unusual that it lasted this long. If you think about the popularity of malls and just how they've kind of went away, like thousands and thousands of malls have been demolished in the amount of time that Well, that mall opened in the late 60s, Monroeville Mall, and it's been open. And to me, like when I was in it a year, last summer, I thought seemed like it was doing pretty good. I mean, there's people shopping and everything.
It actually has been, I guess maybe like 80%, 87% occupied. There are some empty storefronts and such, but it's not a struggling mall by any means. It's not doing very well, but it's not struggling, It's not falling apart either. Things have been, over time, things, get a little weakened over certain stairways and things have been fixed in the past few years. So they put money into it and into repairs and such. So it's not like it's falling apart. It's not in such bad shape that it can't be reused or
fixed. Yeah, and then just added the movie theater not long ago, the district that was just added on not long ago. So I mean, I don't think the issue is like the mall is performing poorly or in bad disrepair or anything. I think it's just a matter of fact that Walmart to put a location in Monroeville, and they've been trying to do this for 20 years now.
Yeah.
And this was their opportunity. They seized the opportunity, and that mall's just in their way at this point. So, but yeah, I was just thinking about that because I was thinking, like the Chainsaw House and stuff. Like you said, it's been moved, or the gas station, which the gas station from Chainsaw is basically like a tourist location now. Like you can actually stay the night there.
They can't sell Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff though. Did you hear that?
I did. Yeah.
What the hell, man?
I was watching Dirk's tour of it on his channel a couple months back, and he was talking about that. I was like, they had every fucking thing else, but no chainsaw. You can't have chainsaw stuff. It's just like, what fucking sense does that make? Good old. Who owns that now? Kim Hinkle? Does he still own?
Well, Tony Hooper and Kim Hinkle and somebody else, I think.
Oh, Lord.
It's like a three partner deal.
So I mean, where do you guys fall on the idea of the mall being torn down? Some people,
I'm all for it.
Some people are freaking out about it. Some people are like, it's inevitable kind of thing. I don't even really know where I fall with it, to be honest. Like, the same time I know it's inevitable, I still think it's like one of the last places that's really like connected to a movie like that. That's kind of like a landmark. So even though I know it's going to happen, because I mean, Walmart, at the same time, I'm just like, that's really going to be like one of the last destinations that people really wanted to go to like that.
Yeah.
That was still around in a pretty, similar format still to this day.
Yeah, I think I'm interested there. I'm still like not fully convinced that it's actually gonna happen. Like I don't know if my brain can accept it, that it's just
You're
like
not gonna believe it until you see it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but it's like I try not to think about it too much because when I think about it too much, it's just like a weird helpless feeling. It's like there's nothing you can. And I try to reserve myself to and try to think like, what would George think if he were alive? And I feel like George would just say, what can you do? That's the way it goes. Like I don't think he'd be that surprised by it either. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of still, just enjoy it while we can, type of thing. And then when the time comes, the time comes. But it's still here.
To me, it's terrible, of course. I've spent so much time there over the years, not just for Living Dead Weekend, but back in 2021, I lived in Pittsburgh for 4 months, and I worked on the TV series for Amazon called A League of Their Own, based on the TV show. And then as time went on, and I had weekends off and such, I would spend an entire day at the mall, like on Saturday or Sunday, or both sometimes. And I would go there and try to recreate all the shots that I could find from the movie. And at this point, I know where everything is. So it's just lining them up and then, waiting for people to not be in the shot and walk through. But I spent so much time there, and I love that place, It's an incredible place. And it like he was saying, like Alpha was saying, it's almost not real. And I feel like, to me, that it's not real until it really happens. And then it's really going to hurt. It's really, really going to hurt, I'm the guy that I love this mall. I spent so much time there. I do the tours. I've done tours for 10 years. I've shown thousands of people, this mall, and explained this mall and the movie and everything that took place in it. And through that, it shows my love of this place. And it's a weird thing to say that. Of course, I don't go to my local mall. I don't care about any malls. I don't care about malls, period. But this place is something different. And right now, it's like it's not real until it really is real and it's happening. And then it's going to crush me for sure. It really will.
Yeah, I mean, like Monroeville's kind of become your home away from home at this point. Like
Pittsburgh is. Really.
Yeah. I mean, the whole city of Pittsburgh is. And now it's. I think you said this to me at one point. You were like, "I'm going to have no reason to go back to Monroeville ever. Like, there's no reason for me to ever go back. Like,
not really. No.
And that's a weird thought. My whole I remember being a kid. And when you'd be in class and you'd get there when you first get in, they have something on the board and it would be like an essay question you'd have to write like a couple of paragraphs about. And then, you'd always get the essay questions like, what is your dream vacation? Where? And even as like a high school case, like everybody else is like, oh, I want to go to Paris. I want to go to London, here,
New York.
there. And mine was always Monroeville, Pennsylvania. And the teacher, and I'd write it out and the teacher would be like, okay, points for, originality, I guess. But that was always my answer. That was the only place I ever wanted to go. And I finally, made the trip in 2021, and I've been back on 10 times now at this point. It's just I
understand. This is why we're friends.
I think Pat's got it right. He says Monroeville Mall is like Disneyland for horror fans.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you go to play.
Another interesting aspect though I'm excited because Saturday night Dawn of the Dead is playing in the theater. I think at 11.
Yes.
Late night screening.
And
this is possibly the last screening possibly at the mall. So that's pretty huge.
Yeah, so like you were saying, I know you guys are familiar with Richard Rubenstein, of course. He controls everything when it comes to Dawn of the Dead, okay? Well, he actually controls how many times we can show the movie. We have gone through things with him for many years trying to show the movie. The first Monroeville show, he wouldn't let us show it. Then finally the second one, he did. Third one, we showed it. And then he wouldn't let us show it for a while. And he really wants to have his say, and he wants to have that control. And right now, he only lets us show it every year or two, maybe 2 years apart. So this probably is the last time that he's going to let us show it. Because if we only have one more year, he's not going to let us show it again. He just has that kind of level of control. That's what he wants, and that's what he does, and there's nothing we can do about it. So everybody, come see the movie if you can. I mean, it's only one screening during the weekend, next weekend, and the theater only holds so many people, but this is probably most likely the last time we'll be able to show the movie because he just won't let us show it like even 2 years in a row at these days.
Why is he a dick?
That brings us to the next question. What is
what's
your fucking problem?
Just being a person, I've never had any dealing with him, but from hearing other people, it seems like he likes to have control in a lot of ways. And I don't want to speak negatively about him because, we work with him. That would not be smart. But it seems like he likes control. That seems like it's it to me. And it's his property. And honestly, in my opinion, he has the right to do whatever he wants with that property because it's his. And it sucks that we can't show the movie every year. We would want to at every show. Every time we'd have a show, we would want to play it. But it is what it is.
Yeah. It's a shame.
I was having a conversation with, we did a round table, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and I was bringing up the point that I do respect Richard Rubenstein for, various reasons, and it's it kind of sucks that he has control over the movies like Dawn and Martin. He has that kind of control, even like Night Flyer. I mean, he has the control over the stuff that he has control over, and he's over controlling of it, but at the same time, it's also kind of when he's gone, who's going to be in control of it? Then I guess his family will get it, and then they'll, who's to say they won't sell it to, Disney or somebody like that, who will then take it and do God knows what with it. So
it'll be in every store, everywhere, Hot Topic, you name it. There's going to be all kind of shit all over the place. Right now, it's special and it's cool. in my opinion. And I agree with you when you said similar things. It's not overused. It's not played out as much as like Terrifier is on every single thing you can imagine right now. If you want a fucking drink koozie, I'm sure there's a fucking Terrifier koozie. There's 8 million shirts. There's 8 million figures. But Dawn of the Dead is a little bit special where it doesn't have all that stuff. It has some cool stuff, but not over amounts of stuff.
Not oversaturated.
Not oversaturated, exactly.
But if you wanted to legally watch it online, where could you go? Where can you do it?
Well, I mean,
YouTube, I guess.
No,
it's all over YouTube. He doesn't seem to give a shit about that.
Well, I think it's on.
He
Amazon
doesn't know how to work the YouTubes.
Yeah, the UK, but I mean, here in the United States, and that's the thing, like, it's not been officially re-released since, what was the year?
2007.
2007.
The Anchor Bay Blu-ray.
18 years.
So I remember having a conversation with Felsher about this, and he was like, he wants to keep it special, basically, was what he was saying. Like, that Rubenstein is kind of like trying to preserve those movies and keep them special. And I get that on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, dude, how many? We're talking about close to 20 years now. Like, how special do you want this fucking movie to be? Like, you want it to be so special nobody can ever see it in the United States. Like, I just think that's a little overkill.
There's a fine line. There's a fine line you gotta walk. You don't
there's
want to
a happy medium.
Yeah,
here.
You don't want to go too far into like I say in Disney with what they've done with Star Wars. I know people that are like lifelong hardcore Star Wars fans who couldn't give a shit less about anything Star Wars right now.
They've destroyed
They're
that.
just like,
for sure.
It's too much, like, Not to say that would happen with Dawn of the Dead or anything, but at the same time, it's like Larry was saying. It's like you go to a store and you see a Dawn of the Dead T-shirt. It's like, oh my god, a Dawn of the Dead T-shirt. I gotta have that. If you start seeing them in every fucking store all the fucking time, kind of like you do with your Halloweens and Chucky. My god, like Chucky out the ass.
Yeah.
Like at some point, it's just like, all right, I'm kind of sick of looking at this shit. Like it's everywhere at this point.
I want to say something about streaming, though, because you brought that up. I have an interesting take on the streaming of Dawn of the Dead, okay? Dawn of the Dead is independently, owned by Richard. It's not by a big corporation or anything. And, streaming, I don't know if you know about streaming, what people, an owner of a movie or some property make off of, like, streaming of music or a movie is pretty much pennies. It's like nothing. So if you're a guy that owns Dawn of the Dead, why would you stream your movie when it's just going to make you pennies and it's just going to accumulate pennies and pennies, pennies? And then when you think about a big studio, say Paramount or somebody who does streaming, they own like 5,000 movies or 20,000 movies, and then those pennies can add up, so you can actually make a legitimate amount of money. But if you have one movie or two movies and you do streaming, it's really not going to make you much money. So why bother? So to me, it's smart of him to not stream. It's just going to make you pennies. It might give you exposure in some way and keep it, relevant or modern, and people can catch on to it and such. But
it's
still a special thing. It's special, and I like that. I don't want it to stream because that's also people can get streaming for free. I mean, you can get your
YouTube
friends,
though. It's up on YouTube.
Account,
he's not making anything off of the YouTube.
That's
stream.
Stupid too. I think he needs to hire somebody like me who will go and follow all the different ways that it's streamed or legally streamed,
crack down on this shit,
or it's torrented. And I know all that shit, and I would stop it all. But I guess he's not savvy enough to go after YouTube and get it all taken down all the time where he should.
Well, I've talked to people in the music industry and like hearing them talk about like Spotify and Apple Music, stuff like that. To them, they kind of just have to look at it as like it's advertising.
Right,
it's advertising their music so that you can buy a ticket to go to their concert or perhaps buy their album if you still do that sort of thing, which most people don't anymore. But it's basically advertising. It's a fancy new way to advertise. Like if your movie's on streaming and somebody sees it and they like it, then maybe they're more apt to go buy it on physical media if it comes out on physical media at this point. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I've heard all about that for years.
McHorror is saying that it is on Amazon Prime for $10 to buy.
Okay. Yeah, there's some weird version on there. Again, I think he's not being as vigilant as he needs to be or used to be, and things are slipping through. I mean, there's so many streams of it on YouTube right now. It's crazy.
I heard stories back in the day And this is the 35 millimeter era because we used to do like
I know where you're going. Yeah.
Where like he would demand, like he would want to see either return the print or destroy it, and he wants
if they came up for sale on eBay or something, he would contact them and try to confiscate the prints. I heard it too.
Yeah.
Damn, I never heard
Give
that.
them prints.
Yep.
Stupid.
That's mine.
Because like that was one that we were definitely interested in. It's like, yeah, you might as well forget about it because he's got people all over looking for Dawn of the Dead screenings.
Well, that's the thing with that new black and white Martin print that they just found, the 2.5 hour cut of Martin that's with the archive right now. He's still got an eye on that. Like he's pretty, from what I've heard that only like 2 or 3 people have actually seen that. And the people that was supposed to see it was John Amplis, and he put the kibosh on that, and he wouldn't let Amplis see it for whatever reason.
I just had this visual of like him being in like an underground military facility, just letting like 2 people in, like screen this movie, like holding them at like gunpoint. Like, you have to sign waivers again, Larry. I just want to say, since this is the thing I'm looking forward to the most, is seeing Dawn of the Dead in the mall. Richard Rubenstein is a stand-up individual, a gentleman, and a scholar, and we all respect him.
That's what I'm saying.
Highest way. He's a wonderful person, keeping the legacy of Romero alive.
And if you don't,
like bucket list shit for me is seeing the movie in the mall. Like I got.
Oh yeah.
Like
when I saw that, I was like, hell, I'm definitely getting tickets right away for that.
The first time that it was ever shown at the mall was actually by Kevin Kreis, who owns the Living Dead Museum and the Living Dead Weekend. He showed it. He has arranged a special screening during the Horror Hound weekend of 2008. So, and I was able to go because I was a vendor, like I told you earlier, and it was a big Romero reunion, and he showed it in the mall. And that was the very first time because of Kevin.
Well, was it 35 millimeter then or no?
No. I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that was one too that they used to do screenings at the Kentucky Theater in Lexington for Scarefest. And that was before they converted everything over to digital, which, digital's fine. I have no problem with it. Looks, some of these movies in digital, like we saw the Phantasm screening when they were doing the new 4K remaster of that a few years ago. It looks amazing. But yeah, the 35 man of Dawn of the Dead was like pretty much impossible. Like I've maybe a handful of times that it was ever shown that I could find online.
Mm-hmm.
He's watching closely.
No, he doesn't watch YouTube though, obviously. So I think we're
Yeah.
No,
okay.
he doesn't.
Well, yeah, maybe.
What is this YouTube I keep hearing about?
Well, I did hear that Don May was saying that they came very close, Synapse, to doing Dawn of the Dead,
Right.
the 4K, but he has all of the, Mr. Rubenstein has his demands. If you can't meet him 100%, it's a no-go, brother. It doesn't work for him, brother.
He's got creative control, dude.
He's the Hulk Hogan of producers.
Wonderful man, though. Love him. All that he's done. Again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Right.
There's some cool stuff at the George Romero Foundation table too. The time that I went, like they have some really, and you guys have got a lot of vendors set up across. How many different parts of the mall is it this year?
Each show we end up having different storefronts because over time different ones become available and then some become occupied. So every show we've had different ones. I think we have maybe 3 different ones at this show coming up next week. 3 different stores plus the museum and the courtyard, the Romero Court where the bust is. So I think that's it for this show.
Cool.
So I wanted to ask you about one thing too. Tina Romero.
Yeah.
Is she done a show before?
She's not appeared as a guest at any convention ever. Although she did show up at our show, I think maybe 2017 or 18. And then the funny that you bring her up, I wanted to say a little story or tell you guys a little story about her. She has been thinking about developing and doing this movie for a long time. I actually went to George Romero's funeral up in Canada in 2017, and I spoke to her there, and of course Sue's his wife, everybody there. I cried with them and all that stuff. A lot of people were there. Felcher was there. And I talked to Tina that day, and she told me her idea of Queens of the Dead on that very day where I was at the funeral. And she'd been thinking about it and thinking of developing it and directing it ever since 2017 and probably longer. So this is a thing that she's been trying to get done for a long time.
And this is it only one day that she's going to be there on is it Sunday?
Yeah, she's appearing on Sunday of our show, the 26th, and she'll be doing a panel there. And then in that evening, there is a cinema called the Row House Cinemas in Lawrenceville section of Pittsburgh. They're doing 2 screenings of the movie at, I think, 6 and 8:30, and she's going to do an intro there at the show, too. So if anybody's going to be at our show, stick around afterwards. You can go to your screening of Queens of the Dead, and Tina will be there.
Nice.
I'm reserving my opinions until I see the actual movie. I don't. The trailer, I don't know about it. But trailers are usually.
I haven't seen the trailer
in
even,
general.
so I don't know.
I haven't seen the trailer either, so I'm not going to say anything at all until I see the movie.
George's son Cameron did a movie. I think it was just one movie.
Yeah, Staunton Hill.
15 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And now he owns a restaurant in Kentucky.
Yep.
Yeah.
What an odd thing to do. Just open a restaurant in Kentucky in the middle of nowhere.
Dude, he looks so much like his dad now, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tina does too. I see Tina more and more, and I see George and Tina more and more every time I see her. But yeah, that restaurant's pretty cool. It's in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. It's close to Lexington, I think. I haven't been yet, but I've seen pictures of it. I follow him on Facebook, and he's got Dawn of the Dead posters and stuff in there. So he kind of embraces the whole. I mean, the restaurant's called Romero's, so he kind of embraces it, and it's. I've been meaning to go check it out at some point. So if I'm ever in that area, I'll.
There's not a whole lot in Mount Sterling really that I can recall. Is there, Uncle Bill?
No.
Yeah.
I think it's like a small. It's a smaller little town, like an hour outside of Lexington. I think I looked it up. But
Yeah, that'd probably be an interesting person to get on. Alpha, if you ever wanted to get him on, I'm sure he'd do it. Interesting conversation.
I'd love to talk to Tina. I'd love to talk to Tina. I just want to.
That's the thing. Like we always
I
talk
can talk about Christine Romero all night long.
Too, because your channel, or really both of your channels, is dedicated primarily to George Romero movies, and it's just like such a niche thing. Like you're kind of limited on how much you can really talk about there, but you're branching out a little bit. I saw, I think it was Eric's channel. Didn't they do like a Children of the Living Dead reunion or something like that? A couple, and I'm like, hey, go for it, right? Children of the Living Dead.
That was actually a really fun stream to watch because Savini was on there and he didn't give a shit about what he said about anybody. John Russo's name came up and Savini was like, if any minute spent talking about John Russo is a waste of my time. He's like, if you ask John Russo, he invented air. So, what do you care? So Savini was in rare form that night, and then Felcher ended up coming on at the end. He ended up popping in there, and then the director, Tor Ramsey, started giving Felcher shit. Is that your real name? And Mike was like, yeah, Michael Felcher. He's like, Felcher? Really? That's your Felcher? And he's like, no, that's Felcher, not Felcher. And he's like,
Wes says that all the time too, Felcher.
Slibbity dibbity is what I call him, baby. Slibbity.
Slurpee. That's what we call him now.
Slibbit slurpies. Freaking Felcher.
But yeah, sometimes you got to branch out into the world of John Russo or the Heinzman's movies like
the
Cheater
funniest
and
the funniest thing that I can remember recently with John Russo is he had a book that came out. I don't have it handy. I wish we did. Like, do you remember this, Uncle Bill?
The Triple H thing? Yeah.
It was freaking like, I don't know if it was like early AI or what it was, but the cover of it clearly was Triple H on the cover of the book.
I remember seeing that, but I haven't seen it since. So I don't know if somebody.
Because it was like, when Triple H is pouring water all over.
He was going defending himself. He was like, I don't even know who Triple H is. Quit sending me this shit. I'm
sure he didn't know who it was, but whoever the artist was kind of took liberties and really liked Triple H's look.
It worked for it, I guess. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I've never had any bad experiences with John Russo, to be honest. Like, he's always been really, really like.
I love the guy.
Cool.
Yeah, he's always like, say what you want about his movies, like they're like me. I like shitty movies. Like, I have a soft, like Larry knows. I'm a huge Hell of the Living Dead fan. I like Zombie 90. The worse they are, the more.
I like Flesh Eater. I'm a Flesh Eater fan.
Flesh Eater. Midnight, like I can get into all that stuff. Have you seen Midnight 2?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and Synth watched that along a couple weeks, about a month or so ago.
I'm the one that told you about it.
Yeah, you did. I had no idea the fucking thing existed, but it's from like '93. It was like shot on a camcorder.
Is it like Boogeyman 2 or something? Yeah.
No, it may be worse.
It's probably worse.
But it's fun. Like it's like it's so bad it's fun type of thing.
So they made a sequel to Midnight in the early '90s.
Yeah.
Did anybody know what Midnight even was then, though? The first movie? That was kind of like an underground film anyway, wasn't
it? I don't know, but I don't even think anybody knew. Was Midnight 2 just like a direct-to-video?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, because, I mean, it's like maybe like a little over an hour long thing. And like
there's no way that was in theaters.
I was going to say, I pray to God that was in the theater somewhere.
So, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. It didn't market, making it a sequel didn't market the movie to anybody, I don't think. But, I mean, it's something.
Well, John Russo, though, is going to be there this weekend. And, yeah, that guy is like, he's a hustler, too, man. I gotta respect him for that. His table has tons and tons and tons of stuff. And he's getting up there in age too, right? I mean, I don't know how old he is at this point, but got to be in his 80s at least, right?
Has to be.
At least, yeah.
So, but
and I think, and Russo, of course, his connection to Return of the Living Dead, which I think is a big reason. Getting back to what you were saying about George's dislike of Return, I think a lot of George's, dislike of Return, of course, it came out the same year as Day of the Dead, and it kind of Return was like the bigger movie of the two, but I think a lot of some of that is also Russo's. Of course, Russo, owned the title Return of the Living Dead. He did the novelization, or the novel of it first, and he feels like they kind of just took Russo's brand and kind of made it their own, and kind of cut Russo a lot of that stuff, which may be for the better, but I don't know. But I think a lot of that is also George kind of sticking up for his old buddy too. So, but yeah, Russo will be there.
I enjoyed Night of the Living Dead, the 30th anniversary edition, personally.
Oh, come on.
Oh, shit.
Alpha did, though. He loves that shit.
Yeah. I said that the soundtrack is not that bad. I think the music is not that bad. That's all I said.
Okay, well, I have the soundtrack CD of it, and it's quite rare. And if you want to give me a lot of money for it, I'll sell it to you.
You can keep it. I don't like it that much. I'm saying the one positive that you can from that is the music.
Did you like the Sinister Minister character in that too?
Yeah.
Well, he's the one that did the music, so yeah. I like him for that. Oh Lord, we thank you for bringing us here today. I don't know what the hell that character was or why he was in that, but yeah. Well, he looks like Anton LaVey type of look. I don't know what the hell that was, but.
And the graveyard zombie in that too, man. Bill Heinzman, like, what the hell did he have on? It looked like he had they spray painted him white or something.
That's probably what they did. Although I'm pretty sure that the budget they had to do those little insert shots and stuff was probably some of the biggest budget that Russo ever had to work with at that point. So
that thing though, that's one cut of that movie that I'm pretty sure will never be re-released. What do you guys think? Do you think somebody will actually?
There's no reason to. No.
Yeah. So if you want it, Go get it. You can get it for next to nothing. It's an old Anchor Bay DVD.
You don't want it.
Yeah, you can get Anchor Bay VHS. You can get the double DVD with the soundtrack. You can get the regular just DVD. They're out there, and they're like dirt cheap if you want to see it.
And you have them all, don't you, Larry?
I have each one, yes.
Do you have Day of the Dead Contagium?
I do own it, but I never watched the whole thing because it sucked in the first 10 minutes, and I never kept watching it.
What about what is the Not a Living Dead Resurgence?
I don't know that one. I skipped it.
Not Living Dead 3D.
Well, they did the animated, reanimated, or whatever what they called it. I never saw that. But they've done so much shit with Night of the Living Dead over the years. I've lost track of that too. Like the 3D with Sid Haig.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's.
For a while, I was like trying to collect all those, and then it just got too confusing. I was like, I'm running out of room. You know,
quit wasting your money. Why bother?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the show. Like, this will be the second one that I've attended. I'm gonna try to be there most of the day on Saturday, and definitely going to the screening and everything. Is there any particular guest that you guys are looking forward to the most? I know that a lot of like obscure Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead people are.
Well, that dude from Zombie, Ian McCullough.
Yeah.
I've never met him anywhere, so that's cool for me.
Yeah, I was pretty psyched to see that he was going to be there this year. He's a big one that I'm pretty excited about. Of course, Eugene Clark's going to be there, so get your credit cards ready.
Don't
plus tax.
Don't hoove into his field of vision, or you'll be spending like about $200-300.
Oh yeah, I made that mistake at a Living Dead weekend a couple of years ago because I just wanted to go up to him and talk about his music. I just wanted to be like, hey, dude,
right.
Like, I listened to your CD and like, I just wanted to see what he had to say about it. And he was like, oh yeah. Do you want to buy a copy? And I was like, no, I already got a copy. Like, I'm good. And then he started to go on this like sales pitch of like, all right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll throw in this T-shirt, my autograph, I'll take the picture for free, but I'll also throw in this, and this, $200, take it or leave it. And I was like, I'll think about it. I'll come back. And I just took off. I never. I got sucked into that vortex pretty quickly, but yeah, Miguel Nunez. I was excited to see Miguel Nunez again. I know
it'd be a good one.
He's a big Dead Pit favorite.
Yeah.
Damon from Friday the 13th Part 5.
Oh yeah, Joanna Man.
Are you gonna go meet him again, CK? Second time's a charm, right?
I don't want to bother him.
Get an autograph.
He'll be talking on the phone.
He's a busy man.
I will say the one funny story I have about Miguel Nunez is in 2021, there was a Return of the Living Dead reunion at Living Dead Weekend that year. And he was there, and of course they were all there. And that was the first time I was there at that convention. And of course, across the convention, they had the Doubletree, the big Doubletree Hotel. And that's where we stayed. I took my 8-month-old daughter. That was our first family vacation, was to the Monroeville Mall. And we were getting up early that Friday. I think it was like the first day of the convention. We were getting up really early that Friday because we were going to go visit the cemetery in Evans City first. So we were getting up. It was, I'm thinking, probably 6 a.m., something like that, like crack of dawn. So I'm getting up, and I'm of course our room overlooked the mall and everything. So I'm getting up, and I open the shades, and I'm just kind of just looking out at the mall and drinking coffee. Kind of having, just having my nerd moment of just like, there it is, type of thing. And then next thing I know, I see Miguel Nunez walking across the parking lot, this empty parking lot of the mall, walking across the parking lot in full dress coat, slacks, like dressed to the nines, just fucking pimping across that fucking parking lot at 6 a.m. in the morning, headed to the mall. And I'm looking out there, I'm just like, is that Miguel Nunez? He sees me in the window, and he kind of looks at me and just kind of gives me a wave, and I give him a wave, and he's just like, points over at the mall. He's like, I'm going to the mall. And I'm just like, dude, the mall ain't gonna be open like until like fucking 3 hours. Like, I don't know what you're doing. But I mean, he was just getting it. I don't know. I didn't even seem like he must have went to sleep that night or something. I mean, he was still, rocking from the night before, I think. But yeah, that was a surreal moment for me, seeing Miguel Nunez just walking across the empty parking lot of the mall, just like ready to fucking go at like 6 a.m. that first day. I was like,
he's all business.
At Joe, I picked him up from the airport, I mean, over the years, I've picked up a lot of people from the airport, and I've had some good times and interesting talks with a lot of these people.
Okay, that brings up a question then. What's either the weirdest or the worst experience you've had with somebody, and you don't have to name them, but just talk about the experience?
Weird. I've had really great experiences, but weird. Let me think. That nothing super weird. Although I'll say who it was. That same show, 2021, I picked up Linnea from the airport at like maybe 11 o'clock at night. And we get back to Monroeville and she's hungry. So we go stop at Sheetz. She never heard of a Sheetz. So we went into there and got some food. And then she couldn't find what she wanted. And we went to Wendy's. And we go wait online. She wanted to get a baked potato. We're waiting like half an hour. And we're like one car away. And they fucking shut down. They closed right at midnight, 12 o'clock. And we were waiting online for like half an hour. We're like, fuck. What are we doing? This is fucking crazy. So I mean, it wasn't weird or anything, but it was fucked up that we waited online half an hour for a baked potato and they closed on us.
Let me guess, you took her to Denny's after that.
No, we just skipped
Waffle
and
House.
took her back to the hotel from there. But
You made her a baked potato in the microwave, right?
yeah. But then there were
if you're
great
gonna be,
experiences.
if you're
Let
gonna
me tell
be,
you a great experience.
Go ahead.
So, one time, I think it was the first time that we did Monroeville in 2017. And we had Scott, Galen, and Ken there, okay? And we had them at the VIP party. And then I ended up driving them back from the VIP party, which was inside the mall, back to the hotel. So they're in my car, okay? All three of them. This is surreal, being a Dawn of the Dead fan all my life, of course. So somehow we got to talking about my tours and what I do. And she said something about, okay, no, start over. We're in the car. Galen's next to me in the passenger seat. Scott and Ken are in the back. And we were going to have photo ops. And we were going on the roof, okay, with Scott and Ken. And I explained this. And Galen's like, you're not getting me up on that rough. So, of course, she says that rough, like she says it in the movie. So then that got me to saying, okay, when I'm on my tours, I actually take people to the stairway where you say the line, Steven, let's get up to the roof. And then Steven says, we're not going to leave those guys down there. And then, and she said to me, she's right next to me, and she says, and you said it like that? And I said, yep. And they all busted out laughing. It was crazy. Like, I'm doing the lines to them, and they start laughing because I'm doing it on the tour, and then I bring them over to the hotel. But it's something I always remember. Something was so fucking funny, and they're all laughing at it.
The rough.
That
must have been a surreal fucking.
Is she from Michigan? That's a very Michigan thing.
Indiana originally.
Yeah, Indianapolis. Her and Ken both right
Yep.
here, and David. I mean, right here where I'm from in Evansville. So they all just cast it out of fucking Indiana, outside of
That's wild.
outside of Scotty.
I never knew that.
Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say, if you're gonna go to the show and you're gonna be in Monroeville and it's late at night and the only thing open is a Denny's, go with caution. Beware.
Yeah, right.
You never know what the fuck you're gonna see, what the fuck you're gonna get.
It'd be great, but the past few times I've been there, and the last time I was there was with Mike here, and it was terrible, just terrible.
Our waitress was strung the fuck out. Like,
Well, I mean,
she's like, Will pointed out, she was like, how the fuck is she slipping no slip shoes? Like, she fell out on the floor at one point. Like, I was just like, jeez, all right. We ended up having to just get up and leave and go somewhere. We ended up just going to Sheetz. Yeah, we just ended up going to Sheetz. So yeah, just go to Sheetz. You can't go wrong with Sheetz.
What is that, like a truck stop or something? What is that?
It's like it's a gas station, but they make fresh food, like 24/7, and it's good food, burgers, fries, all kinds of stuff. It's good. Like, that was the first time I went when we went after the Denny's debacle. And I was impressed. I went a couple more times that trip, I think.
Are you kidding me? That was your first time ever?
That was the first time. Well, it was the first time I went in there. I stopped in there to buy cigarettes and stuff.
That's
but I've
crazy.
never actually gotten food from there. But the food is actually like made to order, fresh.
It's good. It's pretty good.
And it was like midnight when we went in there, and the place was packed. Like, people were in there fucking, ordering up a storm, so they're used to it.
Does everything in Denny's taste like onions?
We don't know. We didn't get anything that night, so I don't know what the fuck it would have tasted like.
I don't know if they have Waffle Houses up there, but those are usually pretty good. I can't remember if
I haven't seen a lot of Waffle Houses up in that area.
Yeah.
I never saw any in Pittsburgh. I mean, they are by me. I'm in South Carolina and North Carolina, right on the border of Charlotte. So I see them all over here, but not in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't recall ever seeing one in Pittsburgh.
So tell me this, though, Larry. Is the guest list for this Living Dead weekend set now?
Good question. We always had people right up to the end. I know that might seem weird, but it's just how things go with us and, you know, what we can manage. And we have certain issues where we have to wait for our designer to do the banners and stuff. I'm not aware of any more that will be added, but I'm not saying that there won't be.
Okay. So stay tuned. It's the livingdeadweekend.com.
Yes.
And it's going to be a fun time because a lot of people that we have known for many years, we have never met in person. You mentioned Eric Kent earlier.
Yeah, he's going to be there with his wife. Yep.
Never met him. He has helped out with our show for like nearly 20 years.
Right.
So we've never met him. And Grande we've known forever as well. Yep. So, and others, I'm sure. But
he's going to be there, yeah.
It's going to
Radkins is going to be there again.
Radkins, I've met.
Yeah.
And then
I'm sure Matt will be there.
Matt said he wasn't sure if he was coming or not.
Still in the chat earlier. I think I saw him say in the chat he was going to be there earlier tonight.
Well, maybe he will. Maybe he'll make it.
Well, it's just up the road, right? He tries to think of himself as like a northerner or whatever, but he still lives technically in West Virginia.
Right.
It's northern West Virginia, but it's still West Virginia, so he needs to get over himself.
Getting all highfalutin with everything.
Yeah. No, I don't think Cody LL will be there for some reason.
Listen, I've seen Cody LL at least 3 or 4 times in the past couple of years at Scarefest, but I just never had the gumption to walk up to him and figure out what the hell's going on.
You know who I would like to see at the Living Dead weekend? Metal Man. I fucking love
that guy.
No, you
wouldn't.
I'm
you think you would?
Episodes of you guys. And,
for the first 5 minutes, it'd be okay, but then after that, you're like, God.
No. You would not like that.
That roundtable was one of the most iconic fucking episodes. With him and Wet Movie 1, I was just like, what? These motherfuckers are about to fight through the screen, I think. Some shit's going down here.
Oh, God.
Gets uncomfortably close to your face in person, too. You could smell the booze all over. Like, you know.
He's like one of those guys, too, that's like that whatever you think of when you think of like a stereotypical, like, I don't know, like northerner type, or he'll be like, well, he'll like right up next to you and be like, what do you do, you fucking pussy? Like, just kind of like bully you. Like,
loud, too.
Yeah.
You'll go in a restaurant and he's still that loud and cussing like crazy. Like, I don't know. He's a character.
Yeah.
He's a character for sure.
It would be fun to meet him for about another 2 or 3 minutes. Just not anymore after that.
Larry, though, we got you on here. This is a multi-stream. We got 144 people checking us out live.
Wow.
So we appreciate everybody tuning in. And you've got your own channel. I definitely want to let you kind of promote that.
Thank you.
Lots of Romero stuff on there, too. The Horror Find Weekends footage, when I saw that, I was like,
I know.
Holy shit. Like, this is
I
amazing.
thought it was cool when you guys shared it and talked about it. And then my wife shot that. You know, I was online waiting for Romero that Sunday of the show, and she went around filming all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because like that was the moment for us too, man, really. I mean, that was an amazing show, and it was cool because I think a lot of that stuff that was shot was the same, like we were there a couple of days, but it was on the same time period that we were there pretty much. So.
Yep.
What's some other stuff you got on there? A lot of Romero stuff and unboxings and stuff like that.
Mostly George Romero stuff, all related to that. Although there's other Q&As and stuff from different horror conventions, because I used to be a vendor at horror conventions, and I filmed a lot of Q&As, and I still have a lot to post. I'm like years behind on posting shit, and I have so much content, it's ridiculous, and I just never have a chance to put it up. So maybe I'll do a show at some point, and I have ideas for one, but I always say that, and I'm busy doing other stuff, so I never get to it.
I understand that for sure.
Anytime I'm watching your show and I'm watching Alpha show.
Yeah, Alpha. Now he does the weekly live streams pretty much the same time. This is multi-streaming on his channel too. What's some stuff you got coming up, man?
Well, I think we were talking about Ian McCullough coming to Living Dead weekend. I think maybe sometime after Living Dead weekend, maybe doing like a zombie fan commentary. We do. I try to mix it up, do some fan commentaries, do some round tables, and then I'll have certain like rankings and different topics and stuff like that. There is a channel on here. I've been talking to a guy. The channel's called Orion Trips, and he did a really interesting video that I recommend everybody checking out. It's called Dawn of the Dead and Our Obsession with Inflation. And it's a really interesting breakdown of Romero's series, and in a really way that I've thought about before, but never really been able to articulate as well as he did. So I've been kind of going back with him. I might have him on the channel at some point to kind of talk about a lot of this stuff, kind of get his take on it. Seems like a really knowledgeable, a really smart dude. Seems young too. I don't know how old he is, but he might be one of the youngins. But yeah, just check it out. Like I said, I do a stream. Try to do a stream every weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, whenever I can get around to it. And it's at Alpha Romero 88. And like I said, we talk Romero, Russo, any and everything, Pittsburgh, and anything on the Romero family tree, as I say.
Children of Living Dead fan commentary coming up too. I'll join you for it.
I'm all for it. Let's do it. After watching that fucking stream the other night on the Garf, I was like, I gotta go back and fucking revisit this thing. Because that movie's like, the first 10 minutes of that movie with Savini is actually like, fucking kind of badass. Like, it's actually kind of enjoyable. And then Savini gets killed, and then it's like all straight to shit after that. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. So, yeah. Down to do that anytime.
They could only afford Savini for that one day, I'm sure. That's what it was.
Well, the story, what the director was saying was he was trying to talk the producer in like, hey, let's have Savini in this whole thing. Let's make him the star of this. And like, nobody knows who he is. Like, he's not the star. He's not the star of this movie. Fucking Abbott Hayes is the star of this movie. They were planning on doing action figures and all kinds of shit with this fucking Abbott Hayes character. Okay. And then once they shot the stuff with Savini and screened it, and people reacted to Savini, they were like, why didn't we use him more in the movie? And it was like, that's what we were fucking trying to tell you. It's like, yeah, that was a interesting story. So yeah, I'm dying to go back and revisit, because I haven't watched that fucking movie in years. I've probably watched it once all the way through.
I think Uncle Bill had it on videotape back in the day or something, and that's when we watched it, and that was like the only time. Never again.
That was enough.
No.
Yeah, it's typically enough.
Its comments fucking took me out. Savini is king of charcuterie.
He loves the charcuterie boards for sure. Yeah. Savini's not going to be at this show though, is he? I didn't see him advertised.
No, and I was just wondering about that too. I mean, I don't know where he's going to be. He must be booked for something else, but I don't know what it is. Can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. We usually have him at every show.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was at every show. But yeah, guys, a Living Dead weekend is coming up the 24th through the 26th.
Yep.
What is it? The 40th anniversary Return of Living Dead.
Yes, we're having a reunion for that cast.
Return of Living Dead 2, which I'm a fan as well. You got some people from that. Ken Foree, John Amplis, lots of casts from Dawn of the Dead. Man, I tried to get like my Dawn of the Dead poster signed by everybody, but like I just gave up. There's too many. I can't. I'm not like Eric's got his, and you can't see anything at all but signatures on it or whatever.
He's got like 57 people on there, literally.
But if you ever wanted to get you a big poster and get it signed up, this would be a good show to get started.
Right, I had an idea. If next year, if it happens, which is probably going to happen, it's going to be a big Dawn of the Dead show in June. That's the plan. So we're going to have like 60-something people there. So maybe if you want to start on your poster for that show, come to this one and get all these people from Dawn of the Dead on that poster. And you have a jump start on, adding all the rest of the people that are going to be at the show in June next year.
Yeah, because I mean, if you want to get all those people, it's like,
break it up. Get
There's-
some now. Get some in June.
unless you have,
It's like you got to finance it a little bit, right? 'Cause,
Yeah.
unless you have a small fortune handy. I mean, yeah. Go ahead and get started on that now.
But it's always a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. It's coming up like less than a week away. So if anybody doesn't have tickets, thelivingdeadweekend.com, you can go ahead and order them up front, or they'll be available there at the mall too, right?
Yes, they will. As far as I know, nothing has sold out so far except for my Saturday tour. Otherwise, there are still movie tickets available. There are still tour tickets available for Friday and Sunday. And of course, that we don't have any limit on the attendance, so people can get in all weekend long if you just want to come on a Friday or just a Saturday or a Sunday. So, of course, stop by livingdeadweekend.com, come by the ticketing booth. And then, of course, I didn't say earlier, my channel is WGON TV. Check that out, too. And I appreciate all of you stopping by to the show and to my tours and to my channel.
Cool.
I want to say this, though. I'm going to say this to Alpha before we go to this show. Listen, take it the fuck easy this time, all right?
Oh, yeah. I was there for that, so I know all about it.
Look, I've quit smoking, so that's a start.
Right.
I haven't had a cigarette in like 2 months. I'm good on that.
What
And
about the crack
gonna
pipe?
take it. Well,
Did
we
you
got to
get
start
off the crack?
We got to start somewhere. I'm working my way up, but yeah, I'm taking it a little easier this time. It's just
sure.
It's just for me. It's like when I'm there, it's like all I do is run. I don't eat enough, and then I drink too much Iron City beer, and then before you know it, I'm laying out in the parking lot of Red Robin, and I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just like, oh shit.
So the night, I real quick will say this because this is to me hilarious. The night that they showed Flesh Eater, and I ran into you briefly, and you were talking to a bunch of other people. I think it was like Will and some other people were there or something like that, and you were talking to them. And it's one of them situations where you look at somebody and you're just like, he's gone. He's just not, like I'm talking to him, but he ain't like there. He's somewhere else. Like, so yeah, chill the fuck out. All I'm saying.
I'll take it easy.
Well, Uncle Bill learned the hard way.
I remember at the VIP party when we were talking, and I remembered this, and I was like, we were talking, and I put my hand on your shoulder, and I was like, man, I just want you to know, you and Dead Pit changed my life.
That actually happened. Yeah.
And I was like, I owe you. I'm so glad I found you guys. Yeah. But
I remember another thing you said that makes me laugh. You said to Uncle Bill, you're like, hey, man, do you think we could drop the kayfabe, and I can call you Aaron?
He didn't say that. I'm like,
no.
I mean, that'd be killer back. Abdul the Butcher, like, I don't drop kayfabe, buddy.
What are you talking about? Who's Aaron?
Yeah. Well, you never know, man. You gotta be careful. But yeah, I'll take it easy. But I'm still gonna have fun. But we'll take it easy this time. But I did want to give a quick shout out, real quick. I found this out like right before we came on. But buddy Brandon Salisbury, the director of the George A. Romero's Resident Evil documentary, he won the Fangoria Chainsaw Award for best documentary. So
wow,
very cool.
Congratulations. I saw him in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's
Brandon.
still in here or not, but that meant a lot to him. I remember talking to him about that, and he was like, yeah, like growing up reading Fangoria and shit, and then all of a sudden I'm nominated for a Fangoria award. It's kind of surreal. And I was like, well, dude, I hope you win it. And then he won.
You know, something I was thinking about making a video of, and then I saw how much these magazines were, and I was like, nah, I'm going to pass. Like, horror magazines in 2025. Have you guys been to the newsstand and see how much these magazines are now?
No, I can't afford them.
They're like, $15-$20 a piece.
I remember seeing Fangoria like, 15, 20 years ago now. I remember seeing magazines, and they were like $10, $11, $12 then. And I remember I would just sit in the damn bookstore and just flip through, read articles I wanted to fit, and then put them back on the shelf and leave.
I'm just curious what they would cover in magazines now, though. That was mainly the inspiration. I'm like, what are they?
Shitty movies now.
I guess. Yeah, I guess reviews, ads and stuff. So, But guys, it's been fun. Also on the Dead Pit channel, we did do an interview with Rhonda Shear, who is
I saw that.
restarting Up All Night next weekend as well on YouTube. So if you want to check out that interview, that was that aired yesterday. It was a pretty fun time. She's a good lady to talk to, and just started doing conventions. I didn't realize that. I think she did her first convention earlier this year in Knoxville. So that's kind of cool. But I guess that is it, guys. It's a work night. Everybody's probably got to get up early and everything. But I appreciate you all joining me. Subscribe to the WGON TV.
Yes.
And Alpha Romero, and I'll try to link the channels in the description as well.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for doing this.
Welcome
Looking
anytime.
forward to seeing you guys soon.
Yes.
Yep, we will be there. So appreciate everybody tuning in as well. Had a large crowd all night, and we will catch you guys next time. Dead Pit.
Doggone.
A big thanks goes out to our supporters over at Dead Pit on Patreon.com. You can get hours upon hours of great content, right, Uncle Bill?
There's so many hours of content. We've got reviews. We've got songs. We've got live streams. We've got exclusive streams. We've got non-exclusive streams. We've got streams with all kinds of celebrities and all kinds of different old shows from the past podcast, the initial incarnation of the show. All of that can be yours.
Dead Pit on Patreon.com. Show us a little bit of love. Give us some money because we definitely deserve it. That Patreon page is so killer that you'll rub your bird to it on a nightly basis. It's that good.
You won't be able to contain yourself. You'll have to jerk your bird out and go crazy. I mean, that's how much content that we have. So much content that it's massive, and it will massively smack you in the face.
You'll play with your bird so much, pretty soon you'll be looking around for somebody else's bird to play.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Filipino bitch, Miss Slatko Fudd, telling you about shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts on TeePublic. There are others, but they all suck. And it's the best goddamn deal on horror shirts you will ever see. New shirts, old shirts, all the in-between shirts. God damn it, bulls, go over to shop.deadpit.com. You ain't down with that. You can go to fuck hell.